So now we're at the stage, we've got the mist coat, 2 top coats of white on the wall. We've used vinyl emulsion, so there's that slight sheen. If anything's spilt on it, you can wipe it off rather than having emulsion where you wipe it, it can take the paint off. We've got all the second fix electrics in, face plates, switches, LEDs. Worktops on in the kitchen. This is oak, so we've put a few coats of oil on, which needs to keep going really until it doesn't sink in anymore, so it gives it a protection. We've got the flooring down, all the skirts, arcs, and now the second fix of the kitchen, so the handles, etc. The only thing we haven't done, we're just waiting for the customer to decide on the splashback, which are the 2 tiles there. Obviously the roof light and everything's on, so we're pretty much nearly there now. So you can do exactly what you want with the extension. You can have any living space, so you can have a seating area, TV area, study, or in this example, this is an open plan kitchen living area. So fitting a kitchen is very technical. It brings together a lot of trades, obviously from carpentry and joinery through to electrics, plumbing, and even finishing off with tiling on the splashback. And it all needs to be done in really meticulous detail, with each trade working closely together to get that final finish exactly as it should be. If certain details aren't paid attention to, you can have problems such as face plates on your sockets. If they're not fitted correctly with loose cables, it can short. Plumbing, you can have a weeping tap. Edges on your worktop, they've got to be scribed in properly, all the way down to your tiling to get a nice neat cut and then finishing properly with all the grout. So I'd wholeheartedly recommend bringing in specialist trades to get all of this work done unless you're really experienced yourself. So before starting your kitchen, I would definitely recommend to get a kitchen designer in, and then you can focus on certain things such as getting the island in the right place and also the right size. You certainly don't want it too long or wide. And then other areas such as high level ovens, all the way through to induction hobs, wine coolers underneath, and then running through to integrated fridge freezers rather than having them standalone. And all of this has been enhanced by this big skylight. It's a really dark day, it's pouring with rain, we've got no lights on, but you can see there's a huge amount of natural light which creates this deceptively large open living space and not a sort of dark closed in area. So thoroughly recommend roof light as big as possible, all the natural light comes in and it just opens everything up inside. So if you're building a kitchen extension, it's either going to be a solid wall, brick and block, or if it's internal, you may use a stud wall. But remember, before you start finishing off and putting the kitchen in, these walls have got to be solid. So if it's a stud wall, a piece of plasterboard isn't going to hold a wall unit. So you can either put a sheet of ply or something behind it to give it that solid fixing. So if you've got a block work wall internally, rather than sticking plasterboard the old way, float and set, so it's hard wall on the block work and then plaster on the top finish, which will give you a solid fixing for all your heavy wall units and or ovens. And finally, one of the most important points is planning how you're going to live throughout the whole build. So the best thing is sit down with the builder at the beginning and get a schedule of works from him so you can see what's happening when. The walls go up quickly, the roof goes on even quicker. That's the quick bit. Then when you come inside, you might be without a kitchen for several weeks. This is where it's important to have everything planned and laid out. And also, if you're supplying the kitchen or the flooring, make sure you've got it in time for the builder to put it in, rather than having a sitting down time of weeks or so when nothing happens. So sit down with him at the beginning, work out how long all the different stages are going to last, but importantly how you're going to live while it's done. Internal fit out can take weeks. So if you've already got a utility, ask the builder to put in a temporary sink or even a temporary oven or microwave just so you've got your essentials. But work closely with him so you haven't got several weeks of just bare walls and bare floors, which is obviously going to be difficult to live in.